Welcome to Pastor Andrew's Inspirations. If you enjoy these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more. Welcome to our online church, a congregation made up of many from around the world. No offering is necessary. Subscribing and watching videos will keep us alive under God's watchful eyes. Today, we will be learning about the ancient land of Gilead. Gilead is the ancient, historic, biblical name of the mountainous northern part of the region of Transjordan. The region is bounded in the west by the Jordan River, in the north by the deep ravine of the river Yarmouk and the region of Bashan, and in the southwest by what were known during antiquity as the plains of Moab, with no definite boundary to the east. In some cases, Gilead is used in the Bible to refer to all the region east of the Jordan River. Gilead is situated in modern-day Jordan, corresponding roughly to the Irbid, the Ajlun, the Jerash, and Balka governorates. Once again, they are all governorates. Gilead is also the name of three people in the Hebrew Bible, and a common given name for males in modern-day Israel. Gilead is explained in the Hebrew Bible as coming from Gal, a heap, a mound, or a hill, and Ead, which means witness or testimony. If that is the case, Gilead means heap of stones of testimony, or mound of stones of testimony, or hill of stones of testimony, whichever version you like best. There is also an alternative theory that it means rocky region. From its mountainous character, it is called the Mountain of Gilead in Genesis chapter 31 and Song chapter 4. It is called also the land of Gilead in Numbers chapter 32 and Judges chapter 10. In many translations, and sometimes simply Gilead in Genesis chapter 37 and Judges chapter 10 verse 8, and in Psalm 60. This can also be found in Micah chapter 7. The name Gilead first appears in the biblical account of the last meeting of Jacob and Laban. In Genesis chapter 31, in the book of Genesis, Gilead was also referred to by the Aramaic name Yegar Sahadutha, which carries the same meaning as the Hebrew Gilead, a heap of stones of testimony. In Genesis chapter 31, according to the biblical narrative during the Exodus, half Gilead was possessed by Sihon, and the other half separated from it by the river Jabbok, by Og, king of Bashan. After the two kings were defeated, the region of Gilead was allotted by Moses to the tribes of Gad, Reuben, and the eastern half of Manasseh. In Deuteronomy chapter 3, Numbers chapter 32. In the book of Judges, the 30 sons of the biblical judge Jair controlled the 30 towns of Gilead. In Judges chapter 10, and in the first book of Chronicles, Segub controlled 23 towns in Gilead. In 1 Chronicles chapter 2, it was bounded on the north by Bashan, and on the south by Moab and Ammon. In Genesis chapter 31, the King James Version, and in Deuteronomy chapter 3, Gilead mentioned in the book of Hosea may refer to the cities of Ramoth, Gilead, Jabesh Gilead, and the whole Gilead region. Gilead is a city of those who work iniquity. It is stained with blood in Hosea chapter 6. The kingdoms of Ammon and Moab sometimes expanded to include southern Gilead. King David fled to Mahanaim in Gilead during the rebellion of Absalom. Gilead is later mentioned as the home place of the prophet Elijah. King Tiglath-Pileser III of Assyria established the province of Galazu, or Gilead, in 733 BCE. Gilead, or Galad, or Jalad, is an Arabic term. It is used to refer to the mountainous land extending north and south of Jabbok. It was used more generally for the entire region east of the Jordan River. It corresponds today to the northwestern part of the kingdom of Jordan. Gilead may also refer to a grandson of Manasseh and son of Machir, ancestor of the Lezerites and Helekites, and of Segub in Numbers chapter 26 and 1 Chronicles chapter 2. He also may have been the founder of the Israelite tribal group of Gilead, which is mentioned in biblical passages which textual scholars attribute to early sources. Textual scholars regard the genealogy in the book of Numbers, which identifies Gilead as Machir's son, as originating in the priestly source, a document written centuries after the early JE source, in which the Gilead and Machir tribal groups are mentioned, and possibly having been written to rival the JE source. Biblical scholars view the biblical genealogies as post-diction, an eponymous metaphor providing an ideology of the connectedness of the group to others in the Israelite confederation. The identification of Gilead as an aspect of Manasseh was the traditional explanation of why the tribal groups of Machir and Gilead are mentioned, along with northern tribes in the ancient Song of Deborah, while Manasseh is absent from it. The text of the book of Numbers appears to portray Gilead as the father of Azriel, but the book of Chronicles states that Manasseh was the father of Azriel. It is possible for there to have been two different Azriels, though Manasseh is only indicated as having had one son, Machir. In the genealogy of the book of Numbers, the son of Michael and father of Joroah in the Gadite genealogies. In 1 Chronicles chapter 5, the father of Jephthah. In Judges chapter 11, in Hebrew, Gilead is used as a male given name and is often analyzed as deriving from Gil, meaning happiness or joy, and Ead, meaning eternity or forever. Example being eternal happiness. Roland Deschain of Gilead is a fictional character and the protagonist of Stephen King's The Dark Tower series. The Republic of Gilead is a totalitarian theocratic country in the place of a former part of the U.S. in the Margaret Atwood's novel The Handmaid's Tale. The television series based on it and Atwood's sequel novel. The Testaments, Gilead, is a 2004 novel by Marilynne Robinson. Here are some quotes. "This is an interesting planet. It deserves all the attention you can give it. Sometimes I have loved the peacefulness of an ordinary Sunday. It is like standing in a newly planted garden after a warm rain. You can feel the silent and invisible light. Love is holy because it is like grace. The worthiness of its object is never really what matters. Memory can make a thing seem to have been much more than it was. These people who can see right through you never quite do you justice because they never give you credit for the effort you're making to be better than you actually are, which is difficult and well meant and deserving of some little notice. I'm writing this in part to tell you that if you ever wonder what you've done in your life, and everyone does wonder sooner or later, you have been God's grace to me, a miracle, something more than a miracle. You may not remember me very well at all, and it may seem to you to be no great thing, to have been the good child of an old man in a shabby little town. You will no doubt leave behind, if only I had the words to tell you. In every important way we are such secrets from one another, and I do believe that there is a separate language in each of us, also a separate aesthetics, and a separate jurisprudence. Every single one of us is a little civilization, built on the ruins of any number of preceding civilizations, but with our own variant notions of what is beautiful and what is acceptable, which I hasten to add, we generally do not satisfy, and by which we struggle to live. We take fortuitous resemblances among us to be actual likeness or likeness, because those around us have also fallen heir to the same custom, trade in the same coin, acknowledge more or less the same notions of decency and sanity, but all that really just allow us to coexist with the inviolable, intraversible, and utterly vast spaces between us. This was the ancient land of Gilead. Adonai Nisi, the Lord, is our banner. Remember, if you like these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more. God's blessings be upon this message and us all.